Hey, what is up, guys? It's Sonic Lopsided, and I am back today with my Battlefield Hardline beta impressions. And overall, I'm very happy with the game, but there are a few things that I think need to be fixed. And I hope that they take these suggestions in mind. I hope they're, taking people's feedback and actually applying it to the game. So, in this impressions or review, as you say, I'm not going to speak about the normal things, like the graphics look garbage or whatever like that, the textures aren't right, because it's a beta. I know for a fact that these are going to be ironed out and polished over in the final product, so I'm not going to be talking about that. I'm going to be more focusing on things to speed and streamline the gameplay, things that really are unbalanced and stuff like that. So, which brings me to the first thing. I hope that they fix the driving mechanics within the game and the animations as well, because driving in first person is fine, everything looks okay, but the problems there lie with the way in the way that the vehicles react to the environment. So basically, if you're driving along, you hit a small rock, your car will stop dead in its tracks. You can't go over small rocks with some cars. It just doesn't happen. So they need to take a more Grand Theft Auto approach to the driving styles. Don't stop a car straight in its tracks whenever you hit something small. Let it just, bounce over top of it and be done with that. Then also, in the third person mode, the animations need to be fixed. They don't look good. They look very like they were shoehorned in. That needs to be fixed. So other than that, the cars aren't a big thing for me. I'm more on my foot kind of guy, so I don't really mess with the vehicles except to get myself from the spawn point to the action quicker. So after that, I jump out of the vehicles. I don't stay in them very long. So that brings me to the next thing: kill cams. Namely, there are no kill cams. There are instead like this weird sort of style where you watch the player that killed you for a few seconds before you actually go to the section to pick wherever you want to respawn. I think that a kill cam would be much more creative and much more beneficial in the long run. No one wants to watch the person that killed them kill somebody else, while they're waiting to respawn. And that being said, that doesn't have to count. That amount of time should count towards your respawn time. It shouldn't be you watch this person who killed you for 5 seconds or 8 seconds, however long it may be, then you go into the place where you pick what spot you want to respond to, and then you have to wait an extra 5 seconds on top of that to spawn. There should be an X button or an A button that spawns you instantly. You shouldn't have to wait an extra amount of time to pick that. Also, one thing that I would change on that is I don't believe that it's important for you to be able to alter your guns inside of the game. No other game does that. You don't have to, you're not actually able to change sights and stuff on your guns inside of the game. That's done in the pre-game lobby on every other game, so that doesn't need to happen. That's one thing that it takes. It's not right. Like, it doesn't take that long to do. I mean, most people aren't going to alter their guns, but it's weird, and it shouldn't be able to be done inside of the game. It just seems like that is out of place, and it really needs to be changed to where you can only alter those within the pre-game lobby or the post-game lobby, however you want to go about doing that. So that needs to be taken out, in my opinion. You guys could feel differently. I'm not 100% sure on your feelings, but that's how I feel. Which brings me to the next point about the weapons, is the prices really need to be altered. Basically, you buy your weapons through cash, which you get within the game. When you capture a point or something, you get a couple of dollars, or if you ramp your motorcycle off of a mountain, you get a couple of dollars. That's things though. So, but most of these guns cost $10,000 plus dollars, and some of them I've seen cost $60,000, stuff like that. But the weapon prices need to be altered to match the strength of the gun. You can't tell me that a gun that's going to cost me $50,000 is going to be worse than the gun that they give me at the start. And it's things like that that really need to be changed, which I think that a lot of the things are overpriced, and I think some of the things are underpriced. but you also need to be able to give me options for lower amount, like lower priced guns, so that I don't have to play with the preset classes for, you know, until I get enough money together to buy a bigger weapon. Because with a lower priced gun like the MP5, it could take you a long time to get enough money together to buy the next step up. And I think there also needs to be a list of guns and different, you know, all the different kinds of equipments and everything like that that are unified within both classes. Because in Conquest, and I'm sure probably in Heist mode and all that other stuff, you have a different set of guns between the police and the criminals. So there needs to be a unified list. The specific guns for the police and the criminals is fine, but there needs to be a separate list of guns that are used with both between both factions. So I don't want to spend all of this money on a gun that I can only use when I'm the police. That doesn't seem okay to me. That seems very weird. I would have that changed if I were making the game. I would have a list of guns for the police, a list of guns for the criminals. Then I have a list of guns that are used, that you can use on both factions. So that's another thing that I wish they would fix in the final version of the game. And then also the sights need to be fixed on these guns. So I think that the iron sights are way too close. The field of vision needs to be set backwards a little bit. So I think that the iron sights are too compressed together. So basically what I mean by that is when you pull up your iron sights on a gun, the iron sights are so close to the screen that you can't really see. You can't see anything out of the iron sights. You're basically shooting and hoping. I pulled the iron sights off of the initial assault rifle and tried to kill somebody, and it wasn't working because it was too far. It was too close together. I couldn't see anything when I pulled up the iron sight. So I think that needs to be pushed back a little bit. The field of vision needs to be just pushed back just a tiny bit to where basically when you pull up the iron sights, it's not so close to the screen. It's a little bit further back. I think that needs to be added in, which could happen based on player feedback. I hope other people are feeling the same way that I am, so that I know that that will be fixed. But I'm not 100% sure whether or not that will be or not. And then also the recoil. There is a ton of recoil on all these guns. And you could say that that makes it a little bit more realistic, and that could be true, but at the same time, it's a game. It's not supposed to be, you know, like real life. You're playing a game because you wanna feel like, you know, you're not in real life, something like that. So if they could change the recoil just a little bit, they need to bring it down just a bit because it's too much. If you're using a sight other than the iron sight on your guns, the recoil, your gun just shoots straight up in the air. You have to, you know, control it so much to the point where it's almost it's really difficult to get kills with something if you are getting it straight off, you know, with iron sights, or you put a red dot sight on there or something like that. I do recommend getting the second red dot sight. Don't buy the first one. Buy the second one. I think it's called the Cobra red dot sight, because that one is a little bit further away, so it makes it a little bit more easy to kill people rather than that first red dot sight, which is pretty close to the screen, so it's hard to kill them. So take that as a tip from me. Get the Cobra red dot sight because it's better than the first one. So then I want to talk about the melee attack. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good at all. It's not okay to use. Like, it's not gonna be easier or better for you to melee somebody rather than just hip firing at them to kill them, because there needs to be a lock-on system, and I don't know exactly how to phrase the lock-on system. I don't know another word for that or a name for that. But basically, whenever you're killing somebody with a melee attack on Call of Duty or something like that, there's kind of like, it kind of locks onto them a little bit, so it makes it a little bit easier to kill them for you. But with Battlefield Hardline, and I don't know about the other Battlefield games because I've never spent a lot of time with them, but there's no lock on at all. Basically, you have to aim at them, be close enough, and then beat them down. There's no there's no lunge or anything like that, sort of how there is with a beatdown in Halo, or a melee attack or a knife attack in Call of Duty. And I think that needs to be fixed as well. Maybe just a tiny bit. Like, if I'm within a few steps of the enemy, I should be able to, you know, have a little assistance in beating them down rather than having to be right up on top of them and swinging and hoping that I kill them. But other than that, I mean, there's not really anything wrong with the game. It's definitely playable, and the maps are huge. just like every other Battlefield game. I do hope that in the final version they have a cut down version of the maps where they're a little bit smaller and maybe there aren't any vehicles in those maps, because that would be great if there's a standard team deathmatch mode. I know there has been in a couple of the previous Battlefield games, and I hope they do and put that into this game. But I think in the final version of Battlefield Hardline, it's going to be great. I am going to buy this one. It's just something different. It's really something different, and I think it could work well. I think this could be a good game in the end product. So if you want to play Battlefield Hardline Beta, it is open for PSN, PC, and Xbox One at this point, so you can go download that. I'm not 100% sure if it's on Xbox 360 or PS3, but I do know it's on those current gen systems, so definitely go download that. It is free, and I'm not sure along the lines of how long it's going to be up, but I know it is up now. It did come out on the 2nd, so I can imagine they might keep it up for 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. I know Halo 5 was up for 3 weeks, I believe, so you could still have some time. So if you haven't done it yet, please go try it out, see if you like it, and form your own opinion. So, with that being said, this has been Sonic Lopsided with my Battlefield Hardline Beta impressions and what I would change. So, thank you guys for watching. This has been Sonic Lopsided once again, and take care.